On December 9, 2022, we visited Arakib, a Bedouin township which had been demolished more than 200 times since 2010. That day, the Elduri family was being forced to evacuate their home once again. Saba's daughter Arakib was cleaning out the kitchen. Men were carrying furniture out of their home. Grandmothers were being evacuated. What we were there to record was happening in real life.
لل 2014 وهم بيهجروا فينا من منطقتنا اللي كنا عايشين فيها لسياج المقبرة أو بنى أو قاعدين في سجن. لما يجوا يداهمونا قليل في النهار أو شيء بننجبر نفوت عند الأموات نحكي مثل الأموات.
Although journalists, documentarians, and activists had previously visited and recorded stories of Aragib's residents time and time again, on December 9, 2022, their home was still under threat. Sometimes the process of telling a story can tell us more than the story itself.
It was very hard for me to see how normal it became for the people. Like, how come that the house, which is the most safe place for a human to be at, like the man when he dig the cave, he did it to feel safe, not to feel luxury. And they don't feel even safe in their house. So what is a house? Like, what is it for them? It was very hard for me.
In 2019, I looked for activists who could tell a clear story about the homes that were threatened to be demolished daily in Area C of the West Bank. Instead, what I found were multiple realities which could not be summarized into one clear story of home. I visited the communities of Khan al Ahmad, Kasarat, Wadi Abu Hindi, Sea Level, Jabal el Baba, then Lagia, Arakib, Rakhame, Abu Grenat, and many more. Everywhere I went, I heard stories about a home that was threatened. This is a story about home, but it's also about the journey I took to tell the story of a home that is not mine, and what happens when we are lost in translation, because the story we are trying to tell does not belong to us, and we find gaps in perception, then the realization that we cannot possibly understand or convey the full reality of another. This is a story about home and what happens when it is threatened, but it's also a story about nature and what happens when the natural environment is co-opted, stretched, and bent to fit the colonial imaginary. As Edward Said once wrote, none of us is outside or beyond geography. None of us is completely free from the struggle over geography. That struggle is not only about soldiers and cannons, but also about ideas, about forms, about images and imaginings. All that is left of this journey are fragments. Fragments of spaces, memories of lost homes, and visions of a transformed landscape. Countless words recorded, which cannot possibly be translated, to convey the multiple realities that exist in this place.